and a little bit of my white on my paper plate, and I'm going to mix those two colors together because I want a soft blue. If you want a darker blue, don't mix white with it. If you want a really, really light blue, add a lot of white. Your call, okay? I'm going to take that bigger brush, and with that bigger brush, I'm just going to go ahead and start up at the top of my canvas, and I'm just going to pull that acrylic paint down, kind of in long strokes, down to where my gingerbread house is. Stop when you get to that pencil line with the gingerbread house, and I'm going to just wipe all the sky out to make it really soft blue color. This is called an underpainting, what we're doing right now. We will do this twice. So we're going to be painting the sky twice. This is just our first color. So if you're not really happy with this first color and you feel like you need to make it lighter or darker, you will have that opportunity to do that. So I'm just kind of wrapping the edges up at the top. I'm going to pull this blue and white acrylic paint down. We're working with acrylic paint today. Acrylic paint is an aqueous medium, which means like you can clean the brushes and stuff out with water. Oil paint is a non-aqueous medium. You need like turpentine or mineral spirits. So this is a nice type of paint if you ever want to do this at home too. Fairly inexpensive, easy to clean. And I like it that it's a pretty intense, bright color. So I'm just kind of pulling up my strokes. I've got a nice blue color here for my sky. I'm going to wrap it all the way around the sides of my canvas too as you go down the edge of your canvas. Make sure you paint that white of the canvas on the left and the right sides. And you just work at your own speed. If you are in need of extra blue or extra white, feel free to come get it. Or I know my mom would be happy to help too. She could grab you some white or blue paint. Or I can do that. And right now we're not worried so much how perfect it is. We just want to kind of coat the canvas right now to get rid of that stark white. How's everybody feeling?
Good, thank you.
Good. Can I help anybody? Nice. And feel free to lift your canvas up off your easel. You can always like flip it around, turn it upside down. If you want to work with it in your lap, it doesn't have to stay on your easel the whole time either. Sometimes it's easier to maneuver just holding on to it. So you do what's comfortable for you. And I'm trying to do most of my lines of my painting up and down. You might want yours more side to side. You might want yours more swirly, like there's a wind effect. So that's what it's going to kind of look like with our first kind of painting of the underpainting. How we doing? Everybody okay? Wonderful. Is it okay if I take pictures of you today while you're working for my Instagram and my Facebook post, Canvassing Concoctions? Is that okay with everyone? Okay, thank you. And then double check to see if you've got paint across the top of your canvas and across the sides, the left and the right sides, the wraparound part. When you have the sky all filled in, the sides and the top filled in, go ahead and take your paintbrush and just go ahead and swirl it in the water, and you want to just take a paper towel and clean it off. We're going to switch to straight white next, so you want to make sure there's no blue in your paintbrush. You can also use a sponge brush, either one. Are you feeling okay? Other things that you can think about while we're starting to kind of develop your own personalized gingerbread house, you could do snowflakes in the sky, you could do smoke coming out of the chimney, you could do Santa on the roof if you're really artistically gifted. Sure, absolutely. You're welcome. Can I get anybody any paints? Do we need any more white or blue? White, okay. Thank you. I'll give you the blue too, Mom. Maybe it's whiter. My mom's gonna walk around. If you need white or blue, just kind of wave at her and she'll come your way. Thank you. Thanks. Okay, for those of you who are done, it looks like some people are finished. Just my only idea is that you're looking at me. That's my signal that you are finished. If you are finished, our next thing that we're going to do is we're going to leave the gingerbread house just for a minute. We'll come back to that while that part is drying up there. We're going to go down to our snow at the bottom. And even though it has a primer on it, we're still going to paint that white. So you're going to take your paintbrush. You might even want to flip yours upside down. I think it's a lot easier to do it this way. Just flip your canvas upside down. And I'm just going to paint all of this white. So all of this is going to be just like covered snow. I'm also going to paint the bottom of my canvas and the sides, wherever that snow hill might fall into place. Give this a good coating of white. And I'm a little shaky today, but don't laugh at my lines too much. You guys just do the best that you can with yours. I might have a shaky snow hill. Go ahead and coat that all white, paint the bottom white, and then we just want to let that dry for a couple of minutes before we flip it back around. So painting the left and the right side of my canvas, where that snow would be at. Or frosting, or whatever you want it to be. And we'll let that part dry just for a few minutes. Okay. Can I get anybody anything right now? If you need clean water at any point too, let me know or my mom know. We can get you some clean water. Once you have your white painted in the snow, if you want to go ahead and clean out your brush and dry it off. Just take your time though, no hurry.
Can I still be able to see the pencil line?
Mm-hmm. And then we're going to be painting our gingerbread house next. I'm just going to kind of walk around over here quick and just kind of peek over your shoulder. See where we're all at. And then don't forget to paint this side across here with your blue too. Okay. That's good, guys. Ooh, I love it. Good textures. Everybody's got their own little style. I love that. Love it. Good job. Good. Very nice. Good job, guys. All right, go ahead and clean out your brush then when you feel like, yep, that's how I want it, my snow hill to go. And we're going to think brown next, okay? So we're thinking gingerbread. Unless you want a different color house. Again, that's up to you. You don't have to have a brown house. If you want to do a candy cane house, that'd be cool. Okay. Looks like a couple of people are still just kind of finishing up, and that's great. We're going to leave it upside down like this on our easel right now just to dry because I know that white part is going to be a little bit wet yet. And we're just going to paint our gingerbread house brown. It'll just be upside down. The two things that I am not going to paint, I'm not going to paint inside of my door because I'm going to do a different color here. And I'm not going to paint the chimney. But again, if you want to, you decide that. So I'm going to take a little bit of my brown on my brush. And now with my brown, I'm going to go ahead and just do my underpainting here, coating the surface of the house. And right now, you're going to see brush strokes, you're going to see marks. This is all part of the underpainting. Our second coat that we do it on top of this will wipe all those marks out. So don't worry too much right now about those marks. I'm just kind of painting upside down. I'm just trying to fill in all the brown for my gingerbread, leaving out the door, leaving out the chimney. Yes, I'm using the big brush. If you'd rather go to medium-sized brush though, you sure can. Whatever you feel is going to be the easiest to control, okay? Yeah.
A big brush was also the sponge brush, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So I think that's.
Yes, thank you. Big brush or sponge brush, either one will be fine. I don't have any more big brushes up here, so I'm using sponges. It just wipes it out pretty quick that way. If you'd rather switch to your medium and try to outline your house first, if you feel a little bit more confident with that, sometimes that's a nice way to start off. That'll give you a nice smooth edge. So it'll look something-ish like that once you have the gingerbread house painted with the underpainting, okay? If at any time anyone would like to clean their water out, everybody, there's 2 pitchers up here. Do you see where I'm standing? There's a white one and a blue pitcher that are empty. If you just want to dump your dirty water into these, we'll take care of that for you. There's clean water right behind me here if you want some clean water, okay? How we feeling? Good, everybody? All right, so we're almost done with our underpainting right now. The underpainting is that first layer of paint that we're going to fill our canvas with, and then we'll do a second layer on all of this before we start doing our decorative elements. So next I want you to be thinking about what color do you want to do your door, and what color do you want to do your chimney, okay? I gave you the colors green, I guess, for the door, but it doesn't have to be green. If you are finished and you want to come up and do a different color chimney or a different color door, feel free to come up with your paper plate and give yourself a little squirt of that color when you're ready. I'm going to do a green door again. There's pink, red, yellow, purple, turquoise, black. You can also mix colors if you'd like to. If you're at home doing this, same things for you guys. At home, I gave you several different colors. Feel free to do some color mixing if you'd like to with the colors that you were provided, or use one of the colors that will work well for your location that you're going to put your painting. Now, if your white on the bottom of your canvas isn't shiny anymore, that means it's probably air dried. Acrylic paint dries pretty quickly. I'm going to go ahead and flip mine back around now. My bottom is completely dry, and I want to do an underpainting for my door. So I'm going to do green. I'm switching to a medium brush here. You can also do a small brush, whichever you feel more comfortable with. And with my medium-sized brush, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill the doorway in with just a solid color, getting rid of that primer, that underneath color. And you work at your own speed. Take your time. We're just getting the door done next. So whatever color you want that to be. It can be a dark brown door, mix brown and black together. Red door, purple, blue, whatever you want. I'm going to do green. So if you look at the difference between like this canvas right now and this canvas, you can kind of tell like how much brighter and more intense the one on the left is versus the one on the right. That's because this is called the underpainting type of canvas. This is the one coat. Everything, once it's dry, we're going to paint all of this again. That'll bring it to this vibrancy. The intensity and the darkness of that second coat will happen with our second layer. And then we'll start thinking about decorative elements for the gingerbread house. You might even want to use your cell phone. You could pull up gingerbread images too, gingerbread clip art. That might even pull up some different ideas of what kind of window could I do? What kind of topping could I put on my gingerbread house? Do I want to have Twizzlers or candy canes wrapped around the doorway? All your choice. Do you want to do a pathway of gumdrops? And then the last thing that we're gonna paint for the underpainting is our chimney, and I'm gonna do a red chimney. You could do red mixed with black if you want it more of like a maroon color. You could do red and brown to dull it down. You could make it more of a pink color. Whatever you want. I'm gonna take a little bit of red and my baby brush then, and all I'm gonna do is just paint right inside of that little pencil line area for my chimney with the color that you want it to be. And now we're finished with our underpainting. When you get the chimney painted, we'll do all of that again a second time. So if you need more white, if you need more blue, please feel free to ask myself or my mom, or feel free to come up and get your own colors that you want to work with. And maybe even start thinking about colors you want for candy, if you're gonna add some candy elements to your gingerbread house. Can I help anyone right now with anything? All right, I'm just gonna kind of make a loop around. Let me know if I can help with the underpainting. Good job, guys. Thanks. Yes. You can put white over top of your red in your chimney later if you want to add the line with the frosting. That white will make it hot later. White frosting is going to be dripping from the roof of my gingerbread house. In just a few minutes, don't drop. If you want to try that too, you can do that along with me in the roof. That makes sense. Good. Good. Excellent. Good job, guys. Oh, I love that you're trying something different. Good job. Awesome. Good job, guys. Nice painting. Very good. Second coat, yep. Second coat once it's dry will make it really dark. Yep. I always love the second coat a lot more because it's a little more intense and vibrant. Need to get some fresh water or a fresh paper towel, go ahead and grab that. And we're gonna start all over again. That was round one. Now we're gonna do round two. Same exact thing we just did. We're gonna paint our sky, and then the snow, and then the gingerbread house, and then the door, and then the chimney. Okay, so it'll be the exact order that we just did. When you do this, if you do this at home, doing that second coat, you always want to make sure it's really dry before you put that second coat on. Otherwise, it's going to pull the acrylic paint up off the canvas if you're trying to put a second coat on something that's wet. So just make sure it's really dry. All right, let's look at the sky first on yours. Now, is it something that, yep, I love this color, this is the color I want to stick with? Or do you want to change it? Now is your time to do that. We will not be putting a third layer on the sky, so this will be your last layer. So with the sky, if you want to make it darker, there is a darker blue up here too if you want to mix that into it. You can mix more white into it if you want it lighter. Again, your call as the artist. I'm going to go blue and white again. I'm going to make mine just a little bit lighter this time just for fun, something different. So I'm going to mix my blue and white on my paper plate to get to the color that I want it to be. And again, I want to paint all of the top of my canvas and then all the way kind of down the sides. Long strokes. You might even want to hold on to your painting if that's easier for you. Be careful when you get up to the gingerbread house, just go slow around it. Take your time with your edging. Could be a purple sky, you could have a gray sky, a red or a green sky.
Is this dark blue? Oh, black.
There is a dark blue somewhere. No?
What color makes gray?
Black and white.
Black and, yeah. Okay.
Let's see, this is black. Well, maybe I didn't grab the dark blue. Oh, sorry about that. If you're gonna make a gray, black and white mixed together will make kind of a grayish tone. If that's something you want to try. Yep, that'll make it darker. Yep. Or you could do blue and purple two together. That'll make it darker. Trying to get my sky in here really quick, kind of wrapped up for you, and then I'll be around if you need some help. If you wanted to leave some like streaks in it, kind of more like a marbleized effect, you're just going to kind of touch your brush into white and then a little bit of blue, working that wet into wet, either pulling it straight up and down or side to side. But I'd go one direction or the other so it stays consistent throughout your painting. It'll give it a little bit of a unity type of feel then. It belongs together. Sure. Yep. Sure. I love that idea. Yeah, for sure. I'm going to do clouds for sure. Throw some little white puffy clouds in there. And I like to see some of the brush strokes in my sky. You may not like that, so you just keep working it till you get it to the level of cleanness that you want. I'm gonna leave mine something kind of like this for the color. So I'm gonna go a little bit lighter with this background than my other one. But it should be a little bit darker in intensity than your first layer. How are we doing on the skies? Everybody okay with sky right now? Getting it to the color you want it to be? Can I help anybody? Do you want it to be like spirally? Do you want it to be like smoke and little clouds? How we doing? These over here, you guys all good? Okay, we're at
I like the color blue.
okay over here? Good. Excellent. Okay, same thing as the sky. We're going to put a second coat on top of the white now, everybody. So with our clean, medium-sized brush, we're going to go ahead and flip our canvas to the side, or you can go upside down. I'm just going to go to the side right now on mine. And I want to do one more coat of white all through this bottom part, okay? Whenever you're ready, go ahead and do the snow again. Now might be a time too if you want to think about, oh, I think I'm going to do a little sidewalk or a candy lane or a tree. Those are things that we'll be putting in here in just a few minutes. So when I have my white painted, it'll look something-ish like this for my second layer of white. Okay? I'll give everybody a minute to do your snow and your sky, and then we'll start thinking about this house. Can I help anybody with anything? Okay. So when I'm going to paint for an example today, I'm going to do it very similar to the one that's the big one, just so that you can kind of see what happened and how it changes as it evolves kind of through there. But feel free, don't have to add everything that I add. If you want to do something different again, I'm not making you do any of this. You are the artist, you decide.
Is there a better way to get my paintbrush is shining into my picture? It's shining in the picture. That's okay. How do I just get it out? Here, let me get you a sponge.
I'm going to use my sponge. Might want to clean that one out because it's going to have white in it.
What? Good call.
Sometimes I just take my fingernail and just like dig it out. Good job. There's a little guy in there.
Maybe he's just one.
There we go.
Perfect. Thank you.
Everybody else okay right now? All right, if you have the sky and the ground done, let's start thinking brown again for that gingerbread house, okay? So I'm going to work with my medium brush, making sure that it's clean and dry. Acrylic paint, you don't want a lot of water in your brush. It's not like a watercolor. You want to have it dry and clean when you work with it. And I'm going to go ahead and put a second coat on this brown. Just painting straight through it again. You want a really dark, deep, intense color here. Getting rid of all of the brush strokes. So go ahead and paint your gingerbread house with the brown when you're ready. I'm just going to hold mine. I think it's easier for me to control it holding it, and then I'll set it back down for you to view here in just a second. I think it's sometimes nice because this brown is a little bit more opaque, that you paint the opposite direction that you painted the first time with your second coat. This will get rid of some of those brush strokes too for you, if that helps. Everybody like their sky color? So I'm going to go ahead and paint my house brown, and then my door was green. So as soon as I have my brown gingerbread house kind of painted with my second coat, I might even have to do a third coat with this brown. This brown is still very opaque, kind of see-through. So we might have to let it dry and do a third coat. We'll see here what you guys think. Clean up my brush. I'm going to do a second coat with green and a second coat with my red for my door and my chimney. So you work at your own speed. I'm just working on getting that second coat in for the gingerbread house, for the door, and the chimney. And my red chimney, and then I'll let this dry. And if you need some help, let me know. I'll walk around and give you some help. All right, so that's what my second coat is going to look like through those things, just making everything a lot more dark, more intense. Can I help anybody with anything with their house, door, chimney? And I'm going to use clean white next for the top roof of the frosting. So if your white is kind of messy or dirty, you might want to come get some clean white. If you need to clean out your water, you might want to do that too. And get a clean paper towel. Those are all might be some options that you might want to think about doing. Yes. The door will be touched up, yep. That green and brown almost is going to need like a third coat, I think, but we're going to have to let it dry for a little bit. That's up to you as the artist, too. Yours might have gone on a little bit thicker than mine did. Sure.
Are we getting new water this morning?
Right, there's pitchers of water right behind.
Dirty here.
Gotcha. If you need a clean paper plate too, I'll set them over by the paints. Sometimes that's just handy to have. If you need to do some color mixing too, I'll just set them right here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so when you have your door and your chimney painted, clean all your brushes, get some clean water, new paper towel. Now comes all the fun detail work. So now it becomes, everybody's is going to become their own unique piece. If you want to come get some new colors, specifically for candies. Thank you, Mom. Some for candies or for trees or anything else you might want to add. A little gingerbread person. Whatever. That's usually me. That is usually me.
I can't hear you.
Do a little extra.
Yeah.
So everybody's, for sure you're gonna need white. So if you don't have clean white, I would for sure get clean white, and then whatever other colors that you might be interested in. I have some smaller brushes too, if anybody needs a smaller one that they don't have or whatever, okay? Yeah, so it'll become kind of an evergreen or forest green. Those are pretty colors together. Okay, so everybody have the colors they would like then for candies and detail work. Want to get a cookie or some water? We've got a bunch of cookies over here. Now would be a good time to grab that too if you'd like. Good work, everybody. If you want to get your phones out and Google search gingerbread clip art, that might be something that something might inspire you from looking at a different picture too. If you want to try something else. Or you can follow right along with me. Okay, so we're gonna think frosting for the rooftop. So we're pretending like our little gingerbread house here has been hit with frosting. It's coated the roof of my gingerbread house, and it's gonna be ooey gooey dripping down the sides, okay? So to do that, what I want you to do is with your medium brush, if you want to do this, you're gonna start with a really clean brush. There's no paint in it. Make sure that your brown and red is dry too. If it's not completely dry, just give it a minute or two. Otherwise, you'll have a kind of a big mess there. I'm going to take my white and I'm going to paint right against the edge of my rooftop. This is why it doesn't matter so much like how, I touch the red, how perfect your roof was. I'm going to paint a straight line, like an upside down V shape. My red is very, very wet yet. So it looks something kind of like this. And we will do this a couple times. So that's going to be our guideline. We'll have to let that dry, and then we'll paint white again over it to make it a bright white for frosting. And then from that line, we're gonna do little drips that are gonna kind of come down with it. So I'm gonna use my baby brush here, And what I'm gonna have you do, if you would like, we're gonna go kind of just down like little raindrops or teardrops. It's gonna look like it's kind of like oohing and gooing and dripping down the sides. They don't have to be the same length or same size. That'll make it a little bit more visually interesting if it's a variety. And again, it's not going to be bright white yet. We'll have to put a second coat on it. So don't worry yet about it. And then just have it kind of drip down the corners. So it'll look kind of like that. It's kind of like a dull white right now. You need to let that dry though. Okay, so straight line across the top, kind of an upside down V, and then little drips coming down from that upside down V just a little bit. Kind of like U. Yep. Like a little U, like a smiley face. It's just going to attach to that rooftop. Give you guys a few minutes to do that. I'm using my baby brush here. If you'd rather use your medium one, that's okay too. I just like the small one because you have a little bit more control then. If you want to hold it in your lap or take it off the easel, if that's easier for you, that's fine.
You said you just did upside down U's.
Yes. Yep. Like a little smile-ish kind of shape. And then once you get that kind of frosting that's kind of dripping down, we're just going to let that dry for a little bit. That second coat of white will brighten that up here in just a few minutes. But while that's drying, we're going to paint, I'm going to paint a heart shape at the top. So I'm going to have a candy heart up here at the top. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to do this heart shape. It's up to you. But we need to paint it white first, and then you can turn it into any color that you want. Since we're on a brown building, we're going to bring it back to the color of the canvas. So for this one, if you want the heart, I'm just going to go ahead and pencil in or sketch out a little heart shape with my paintbrush with white. And I'm just going to fill it so it's completely white.
Fill the whole thing white?
Completely white, yep. So it'll look something just like that. And then you can decide if you want to turn that into a colored heart in a few minutes. That'll just brighten it up again. Can I help anybody with the heart or the roof and the frosting? Okay.
I wanted to do a wreath instead of a heart.
Sure.
Do I still do the white?
Yes. I love that idea. You could do like a peppermint candy there instead of like a heart too. Like, so just paint like a circle, and then you could just do like the red and white triangles inside of it. You could also do like a diamond shape for like an up window in the gingerbread house. So it could be lots of different things besides a heart. Now I'm going to add 2 windows, and I'm also going to add a candy cane that's going to wrap around my doorway. So again, I'm using just straight white for this. If you don't want to add windows or the candy cane doorway, you don't have to do this, but this is what I'm going to try. So I'm going to draw a rectangle on the left side of the door, or you can do a square. And I'm going to paint that completely white. And then I'm going to do that same shape so it's symmetrical on the other side. And again, completely white. And then I'm going to go right to the edge of my green door, and I'm going to go a little skinny white line all the way around the frame of the door. Just go very slowly, just take your time. And it'll look something kind of like that once you get those done, okay? I'm just gonna kind of walk around, just check out where you're at. Let me know what I can help. Oh, I love that baby. Yeah, that's super cute. Good job, you guys. That's so cute. Yes, for sure, try different shaped windows too, if you'd like to. Great. Yep. Oh my gosh, I love Rose. Good job. Yes. Thanks. Love it. You always have a little different take on it. Some people have wreaths, different shaped windows. That's great. Nice. Got a little dog in there? Nice. Super cute. I'm just going to kind of come behind you and take a couple pictures too while you're working. I'm going to add a gumdrop rooftop and a gumdrop path, or like little stone path in the front next. So if you want to follow with me, that'd be any colors that you want. If you want to get different colors than you have right now, we need to let all the whites dry before we can do a second coat with that. And Merry Christmas. Okay, so I'm going to grab some colors that I want for my gumdrops. So I'm going to do yellow and blue. I think I'm going to throw purple in there this time too. And red and green. If you want to do the gumdrop roof with me, that's what I'm going to do next. Everybody else doing okay right now? Good? Okay, so for my gumdrop roof, I'm going to think like upside down U shape. So like half a circle, semicircle, almost for this top part. I would use a baby brush or a medium brush, and all you're gonna do is this. So I'm just gonna kind of scatter it down my rooftop. So I'm gonna do half a circle, fill it in. Skip around, maybe I want one right up here. Half a circle, and paint it in. Again, we'll have to do 2 colors, or 2 coats, okay? And whatever colors you want to, if you want to do these gumdrops up at the top. We'll throw a pink one in. Make sure your brush is pretty dry when you're working with these colors. Do a yellow one. So my gumdrops are going to be up there on the top of my roof like this. I'll do a purple guy. And then I'm going to just use these same colors to make a little candy trail or pathway to my front door. And all I'm going to do there is just try different sized circles and oval shapes. So I'm going to put maybe a couple of circles on and then fill it in with a couple ovals. And you just lead your pathway so your viewer's eyes goes right to your door. Sure, sorry. So right here at the bottom, I'm adding kind of circle and oval shapes. At the top, it's kind of half circles and circle and ovals from my door down to the ground. It can be different sizes if you like to. I just like the different color assortments just to make it like it's full of candy for my gingerbread house. But you might want to have like a certain color theme. And I want to use the same colors that I used on my rooftop here as well, just so that it kind of unites the painting, kind of goes together. So some circles, some ovals, mine's kind of dripping because I think my brush is too wet, but something-ish like that, okay, as you are kind of working. Okay, any questions right now for me? Give you just some time to work right now. And then while that stuff dries, then we're gonna go back to all the white, doing the white a second coat. Okay, so I'll give you some time to do gumdrops and a little pathway. Candy canes are looking good. Got a couple of trees already added. we'll do that next, just to get us that third coat on, and if you need it. Oh no, did you get some on yet? Oh shoot, wet paper towel. Thanks. I didn't realize I had that on my hand. That's usually my little issue. Try. Try my hand. If you want to go to the bathroom, feel free to and come back too. Can you have soap and water?
I'm gonna go back there and do it
Yeah.
instead of your camera.
Sounds good. Good job. Can I help anyone? Okay. If you're waiting on me now, like if you've done your candy and you're just kind of waiting, the next thing that we are gonna do, if you want to start on it, mine looks like it's tilted here, but that's okay. When I stand to the side and paint, it always gets that way. If you want to paint your door a third time or your chimney a third time, if you feel like it needs it, it should be dry now. So if you want to work on that while you're waiting, that could be something that you're doing while your fellow classmates are working on their candies.
Well, I've got too much going. I need to cover this one.
So I'm going to go ahead and just put a third coat of green on my door and another coat of red onto my chimney. I think that'll help that red and green too. That it just seems like it's a little more see-through kind of colors. Yeah, that made that green a lot darker for my doorway. Everybody feeling okay still? So that's the second coat of green on my door, or third coat, excuse me, of my green on my door and my chimney. I think that's just gonna make it a lot more solid coloring. And then we're gonna do all that white again, that frosting. So the frosting that's kind of dripping from your rooftop, make sure you've got a really clean brush and you've got a clean white to work with. And then make sure that your white is dry. If it is, then, and you have the other parts done, you can start putting that second layer of white on the heart, the windows, and the frosting. Can I get anybody any paint? Okay. My white was really dirty from my brown must have been really wet yet. So this second coat of white is really helping it brighten it up and kind of pop that color back out again. So I'm doing just a second coat on my heart, second coat on my white frosting around the rooftop, second coat around the windows, and around my door frame, just to brighten all of that up so it's a really bright, clean white. You want this time too to be really smooth, so I would really suggest working with a baby brush now with that step when you're starting that second coat of white to make it kind of more of a finished final edging. And again, anytime that you need to add like another coat to something, you need to make sure that it's dry though underneath it, or it will pull that acrylic paint kind of up off the canvas. So just give it a few minutes to dry, work on a different area that long, and you can come back to it if it's really wet.
When you have time, could you
Absolutely, sure,
get snow?
Sure.
I mean, smoke, I'm sorry.
sure.
I like her gray.
do a second coat on it once it dries a little bit too, and that'll, yeah, maybe just a little bit taller at the top. There, that helps too.
I don't, mine look like this. I was going to look at this, I think. I wonder if I can. That payout is disgusting.
I think, yeah, change the size, vary the sizes up a little
Okay.
bit. Make like 5 of them large, and then 2 medium, and then a couple
Okay.
brighter. I think that'll give it a different effect too.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody else?
I like that. You want the little, steel Kelly's. Where it works. Sure.
So I'm adding a little bit of smoke to some chimneys. If you want to throw some smoke onto your chimney, you sure can. That might be something you want to try. If you want to put some snowflakes while you're waiting for me into your sky. And then we're going to talk about candy canes, trees, and anything else that you might want to kind of put into yours to make it stylized.
Oh, love it. I like it.
Here's a really simple way to do snowflakes in the sky. If you guys want to just lift your head up just for a quick minute. I know you guys are all really busy working right now. If you want to have like some snow kind of just falling in the background, if you take your paintbrush, just flip it upside down to the back side. So we're going to use the bottom end of the brush instead of the top. I'm just going to dip this in, and it's just kind of like a stamp then. So I'm just going to kind of stamp it. This will give you like perfectly round little circles. And then you just apply like how many snowflakes you want into your background. But that's a really easy, simple way if you want to have some snow in the background. You could also do this on the gumdrops themselves if you want to make them look sugary. If you want to add like use your baby brush and just put a few dots of white on top of the gumdrops. On the trail itself, you could do it that way too. Those would be other ideas that you might want to try. Are we at a point that we could try to do a candy cane or a sucker, or not yet? Yeah? Okay. If you want to, don't feel like you have to. Let's just do, would you rather me show you how to do the sucker or the candy cane, or both? Both? Okay. Let's do the candy cane first, okay? So if I'm going to do a candy cane, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a J that's going to be upside down, like a staff here, and it can go either way. You can have it turn this way, or you can turn this way. I'm going to have it go into the snow, so I'm just going to take my baby brush, and I'm just going to pull a white line. I'm going to go straight up, and then just kind of like an upside down U shape. I'm just going to curve it around. And again, I'm starting with white. And I'll do 2 coats of that white before I do the red stripes. So I just need to let that dry.
You're using your small brush?
Baby brush, yep. And I just did straight line and then an upside down U, okay? If you want to try to do like the lollipop, that has kind of a spiral on it, all I'm gonna do for that one is I'm just gonna draw a circle shape. And I just need to give it a stem for the sucker to, lollipop to hold on to. So I'm just paint like a white circle to begin with. We're bringing that canvas kind of back to its original color there. And then I just want a stick into the snow. Again, I want to let this dry and put a second coat on it before I add the spiral and then decorate the stick too. That's just two really easy candies that can go like on either side of your gingerbread house. A candy cane and a lollipop. And then once they're all dry, we've got the second coats, then it's kind of fun to decorate with the baby brush. Stripes for the candy cane, spirals for a lollipop. Can be any color, your choice. I don't have a lot of room for my tree. Is anybody wanting to do a tree? Yeah. Maybe I'll do it on a different canvas. Yes. More right. Okay, I'll show you how to do a tree in just a few minutes. I'll let everybody kind of work up to this point right now. Give you a second. For the gumdrops, if gumdrops are dry, now would be a great time to put a second coat on those gumdrops to make them brighter. Just come back and put a second layer on them after you've done your lollipop and your candy cane. I'll just take my colors again without water in my brush, and I'll just paint another layer on there. Make sure that it's really bright and that I don't see the sky through it. Then we got to paint my heart and windows yet. If you're working on a candy path, sometimes I think it's more visually interesting too if you vary the sizes of the candies. So you've got a small like Skittles, and then you've got like a big like butterscotch or whatever, so that you're changing up the sizes of the circle and oval shapes. That again just adds a little bit of variety to your canvas. Something to think about and consider anyway. If you want to add a doorknob to your door, that might be something you could try. You want to put like a wreath or a peppermint on your door, you could try that. Anybody gonna try like a gingerbread person? Gingerbread snowman?
If we did a gingerbread person, would we have to paint them white first?
Paint them white first. Yep. Yep, you were right. Good question. If you're going to do a gingerbread person, I would paint the body white first and then do the brown over it after it's dry. It'll just give you a darker finished piece. For my brick on my chimney, the red chimney is dry on mine now. So I'm just gonna add white thin layers with my baby brush to give it like a brick effect. If you would like to do that too, I'm just gonna draw 2 skinny lines of white.
I did do that.
Let it dry, we'll put a second coat on it. And then kind of break those up into like little rectangles, alternating every other row. It kind of looks like a stacked brick look. I'm going to paint the inside of my heart, but I'm going to leave a white ring around it so it looks like it's frosting around that heart. Last one I did kind of a reddish color. I think I'll do purple this time, just so you see something different. So all you're gonna do is just paint a smaller heart inside of the other heart. Or if you did a diamond, or if you did a square, you're just gonna do a smaller shape of the bigger one that you've done in any color that you would like. So I'm doing a purple heart. And I'll stop there and just kind of give you all kind of a few minutes just to kind of play around and add your details. And I'll come back and add some more stuff to the candy cane, lollipop, and windows. Good job. Good. All of them have their own little personalities. I love it. Good. This one we yes. Yep, let's go. I think the top right is perfect. Let's just make the sky behind it so it's the center. Can I steal some of your turquoise blue? I'll give it. Can I do a help anybody? Can I help you? Can I just move them out? Would that be okay? See if like that. For sure.
This is yours. I was going along with Luca Pan because there you do like.
I think you're going to do a lot of great job.
No,
I always
got that down here.
Okay, good job. I do that every now and then.
I like that teal color. I love different colors.
That's a private.
Her windows. Yeah, her windows are just the white brick on top of them.
Okay, next up. For our windows, if you would like to, and everybody's kind of at a different point I know right now, but if you would like to, I'm going to use my baby brush, and the color of your sky could sometimes match those windows, so it looks like it's reflective. I'm going to take that blue-white color that I did in my sky, and I'm just going to paint a smaller square, since I did a square window, inside of that white, leaving a little bit of a white border all the way around the outside edge. That will give you that kind of frosting kind of feel too for the edge. So if you haven't done your windows, that's one idea. You could also do yellow inside your windows if you want to make it look like it's glowing, or if like the lights are on. You could do it like a solid brown color with just like the white plus sign through it, so it looks like it's got like a broken window. Not a broken window, but like a...
You need to let that other coat dry first?
Yeah, let that other coat dry first, and then if you want to paint like a plus sign through it, that could be something you want to try. I'll leave that up to you. So those are other options that if you want to do for your windows.
You just do one coat of that color in there, you think?
I would. If you want to do two, you could do two too.
I don't know.
And then if your candy cane and your lollipop are dry, you might want to go ahead and do a second coat of white on those now, just to brighten those up before we do the stripes for the candy cane itself and for the spiral for the lollipop. And that'll make it kind of brighter too and more intense. All right, let me see if I can draw a tree too for those of you who are interested in trying a tree. I'll just do it on a different canvas here so you can kind of see what that might look like if you want to do a tree. So I'll just set this one to the side for a minute. So for like a holiday tree, like a Christmas tree, we're going to start with kind of a upside down V shape, and you're going to do that on either side or both sides of your gingerbread house. And you just decide how high you want to go with it, and it's just going to be kind of like you're drawing like an arrow. So you're going to draw an upside down V to start with, and then I just draw kind of one straight line, so it looks like it's just going kind of, I cannot draw from the side, sorry about that. One straight line, so it kind of looks like an arrow going from top. Is that even straight at all? I can't even tell. Let me do it over here. There we go. So I'll get like an upside down V shape, and then I'm going to go one straight line kind of down to the ground. Okay? Then for the Christmas tree effect, kind of the cookie cutter look, if you want to, it's just going to go out, in, and it's going to be just symmetrical. So whatever you do on one side, you can do it on the other. One way you could do it is just making like these arrows and just kind of fill it in. Okay, another way you could do it is you're going to kind of just bring it in. Next one goes out just a little bit further. But I am struggling at painting from the side today. That's making me very dizzy. Let's try this way. Out to the sides, out to the side, out to the side. And whatever you do on one side of the tree, you want to have that mirror image and match it on the other side of the tree. So that usually the base for a Christmas tree is a little bit wider and fuller than the top of your tree. So however you want to kind of fill that in, but it's going to look something-ish kind of like that as you work your way down towards the bottom. I'll do that over here on this side. So that skeleton of the tree is kind of your guideline. Then you're just going to kind of fill it in as you go down. It's getting a little bit wider and fuller each time. You work your way down to the bottom of it. I'll get out of the way so you can kind of see what I'm doing. So it's just going to kind of like whimsically kind of branch out to the sides and kind of push itself out, okay? So you can decide how you want that. If you want a star on the top, that might be something you want to try. If you want to do Santa's sled sitting by it, if you want to do whatever. Okay? Sure, absolutely. And then same thing with the tree. If you want to add like blue-green to it, like evergreen, you could add snow on top of the tree. Those would be all kinds of things that you could try too to make it your own unique style. I'm going to do a second coat on my heart. And then I'm going to do a spiral on my lollipop and a spiral on my candy cane. How are we doing? We've got about 10 minutes left. I'll be just coming around then if you need some help with anything. Time goes so fast, I know, when you paint. So for my candy cane, I'm going to do it red and white stripes. So with my baby brush, I'm just going to do diagonal lines then, running right over top of my white. Give it kind of a candy cane look. And then on my lollipop, I'm just going to start in the center, make a little dot in the center. And once I've got that dot in the center, I'm just going to wrap around it like a little snake body, like a little coil. Just going to spiral my way out. So I've got kind of a spiral working out. That's something you want to try. If you want to add white to the trees, it might look something like this, where you're just kind of like adding like a little bit of white where it kind of just hits randomly here and there. It's like a dusting of snow has come across your gingerbread forest. And it looks like that, maybe with some white added to it. Those might be ideas. All right, I'll stop. I'll come around if you need some help. Let me know what I can do. Can I help? Oh, that's so cute. Really cute. That's very good.
For the gingerbread, should we do another layer of
Yes,
white?
one more layer of white. That's adorable.
Thank you.
I love your candy cane pathway.
Thank you.
And Reed, that's really good. Oh, nice.
Do I put it anywhere else the white, or is that?
If you want to across the bottom, you could. Yeah, just kind of close it off. Yeah, I think so. I'd even maybe do it like around the edge of your door frame, between the green and the candy.
Okay.
Yeah. Great. Good job. Oh my God, so cute, you guys. They're so different. I love them. Oh yeah, that's really good. Oh yeah, the candy canes are so good. You could add garland if you went to like around the windows. You could put wreaths on your windows. You could do. I'm trying to think, what else could we do? I think that was really good. Thanks. right against the edge of your house, both sides, and just pull that out. Get rid of the snow builds on both sides. Okay, nice and smooth. For you, what I would take some white now, the white's gonna dry, so you get some clean white, and this will go right over top of all of this for the frosting. That's gonna make it really bright for you, and pop that whole thing out, okay? Okay. Look your dog down there. That dog is so cute. You can do a couple more brush shots if you want to. Do you want a smaller brush? Yeah, that might be easier. Try this guy. See that out. Yes, I like the little sugars on top of your cupcakes. Very good. Cute. Oh, nice tree. Good job, guys. Very good. It's not. Yeah, it's good. We'll get some more.
I don't know. Do you think we put that at the back? Just kind of dirty and white. No, I like it. Okay. I don't know, put like a candy. Just running around the house. What?
It's getting there, but I haven't fallen in love with it. But thank you. Please and leave. Please and leave. Oh, yeah, there it is. All right, there you go.
Okay, everybody's gonna kind of finish at different stages. They're so cute. Everybody's just so different. I love it. I think that's my favorite thing about being an art teacher is just everybody kind of can bring their own style and technique to it. For today, if you guys could do me a favor, I'll take the brushes home and clean them. So all you're gonna have to do when you're done today is bring the dirty brushes up. We'll just set them on this paper plate for me right now, and I'll get those all cleaned off. Paper plates and paper products, paper towels, cups can be thrown. There's a garbage can in the back here. We're just gonna dump the water since there's not a sink nearby here. If you'll just dump it in one of these containers, we'll get rid of that for you. And then the canvases should be dry in the next few minutes for you to go ahead and just take home with you and enjoy for the holiday season. I wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and thanks for coming today to paint gingerbread houses with me. Safe travels for the Thanksgiving holiday as well. Can I help anybody the last couple of minutes here? Okay, can we do a group shot maybe in about 5 minutes? Would that be okay before everybody sneaks out? Okay, thank you.
But you don't have a brush.
Very expensive.
Oh,
Well, I've taken them from Jody's class and the pressing. It's a little gingerbread man. Oh, Oh my
too much
God,
white,
yeah.
so I just
No,
want to
that's
wait
okay.
till
Yep,
it
just let
dries.
it dry. Yep. Yep.
Nice and brown.
That looks really good. Very good. Good job. Yeah, so cute. So glad you tried that.
Thank, adventurous.
I love it. That's good. That's good being adventurous.
Where do we wash them?
You can throw that away. Yep. How about in maybe 2 or 3 minutes, if everybody could go stand maybe back by those bleachers in the back. I'll just do a quick group shot, and then
supposed to
if
hold
you
our
need
painting?
to exit, you are free to go. Somebody's home. Nice. If you would mind, I'd love it if you could just walk over and put your easels in this container. That would be wonderful.
Judy, you can go.
Yep, straight in that back.
Oh, back there.
Yep. Thank you. I'll just set the, Harry will just set the easels up here, just drop them in there. Perfect. So cute, you guys. Good job.
Right up front. Garbage? Oh, garbage is back there.
It's like just to see how they're.
Set the paper towels up here.
Oh, gingerbread man.
We're trying. See how we turn out. I'm gonna put them in here. They're going to my house. Just second one.